Breaking news! Something is brewing in Baltimore, and it's not good news for a few familiar faces. Behind the scenes, the Ravens front office is quietly preparing for a massive roster reset, one that could leave fans stunned, and a few longtime players out in the cold. We're talking about Pro Bowlers, veterans, and even recent draft picks who could be suiting up somewhere else come September. Why? It's all about money, effort, and performance. And from what we've gathered, heads could roll sooner than anyone expects. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button if you're a true Ravens fan. It's always amazing to see fans of all ages supporting this team. And if you feel like it, comment below, *Go Ravens. Let's flood the comments with purple pride and show the front office what the flock is really thinking. Let's dive straight into what could become one of the most divisive offseasons in recent Ravens memory. All eyes are on Marlon Humphrey. Once a cornerstone of Baltimore's secondary, Humphrey is now on the edge of being shown the door. Statistically, sure, his season looks respectable, 68 tackles, a sack, 13 pass breakups. But that's not what fans are talking about. It's the lack of hustle, the missed tackles, the blown coverages, specifically getting torched by an aging Adam Thielen in a make-or-break moment. That image is hard to shake for Ravens fans, and neither is his massive $26.28 million cap hit in 2026. Cutting Humphrey before June 1st saves $7.33 million, but if they wait until after June 1st, that number jumps to a staggering $19.26 million. That's enough to make even the most loyal fans question his place on this roster. His trade value? Moderate. Maybe a team one corner away from contention bites, but any potential deal would likely require a restructure. And for many fans and insiders alike, patience is wearing thin. The passion, the physicality, traits that once defined Marlon's game, seem to have faded. It's not just a cap decision. It's cultural. But Humphrey isn't alone. The next name might surprise some, Broderick Washington. His $5.86 million cap hit doesn't scream cut bait, but there's more to this story. A 2025 season largely lost to an Achilles injury, the kind that's tough to bounce back from at his age. Even if it wasn't a full tear, it's a red flag. Cutting him at any point nets $4 million in savings, and the trade value? Essentially none. The problem is depth. The Ravens are already thin on the defensive line. With Michael Pierce aging and uncertainty around Nnamdi Oforie due to serious neck concerns so serious there's real doubt he'll ever play another snap, can the team afford to lose another body in the trenches? Now, if the front office is forced to choose between Washington and Humphrey for a cap-clearing move, signs point to Broderick being first in line. Still, that doesn't make the decision any easier. This isn't Madden. These are real lives, real locker room dynamics, and real consequences. Another under-the-radar but very real possibility? Trenton Simpson. At just $1.71 million, the savings aren't game-changing, but his trajectory has been underwhelming. He wasn't a full-time starter. He got benched in 2024, and when he did play, it was only due to Teddy Buchanan's injury late in the season. To be fair, Simpson flashed in those moments, 66 tackles for TFLs, 2.5 sacks. The talent is there. But is the trust? Is the consistency? With Buchanan set to return and Roquan Smith firmly entrenched, Simpson's path to a starting role is blocked. Don't be surprised if the Ravens target linebacker depth in the draft. And if they do, Simpson may not survive the offseason. And what about the quarterback room? Cooper Rush might have had the most disappointing 2025 season of anyone wearing purple. Brought in to be a reliable backup behind Lamar Jackson, he flopped when it mattered most. In 4 appearances, Rush threw 4 interceptions, no touchdowns, and racked up just 303 yards. His $3 million cap hit is hefty for a backup, and while a post-June 1st cut could save $2.1 million, his trade value is non-existent. It was a gamble that didn't pay off, and with Tyler Huntley proving himself time and time again as the superior option, Rush is almost certainly on his way out. Finally, let's talk about Andrew Voorhees. His name doesn't come with the same weight as some of the others, but his position does. Left guard has become a growing concern. The coaching staff seems to favor Daniel Falale and rookie Emory Jones, which doesn't bode well for Voorhees. His PFF grades? Ugly. His performances? Forgettable. With the Ravens likely targeting offensive line early in the draft, Voorhees could become expendable. Cutting him saves just over $1 million. It's not a massive number, but every dollar counts when you're trying to chase top-tier free agents. Because when you step back and look at the full picture, this isn't just about trimming fat. It's about reshaping the identity of this Ravens team going forward. This franchise has built its reputation on toughness, physicality, and accountability. And for several players on the chopping block, those core values have come into question. Let's circle back to Marlon Humphrey. When he was drafted in the first round back in 2017, fans envisioned a lockdown corner who could lead the secondary for a decade. And for a time, he lived up to that billing. But the Marlon we saw in 2025 didn't look like that same player. It wasn't just a single blown coverage or a missed assignment, it was a pattern. One that culminated in a defining moment, getting burned by Adam Thielen in a clutch situation, something that stung not just the coaching staff, but fans across the league. It's hard to watch a former All-Pro regress in front of your eyes, but it's harder to accept a lack of fire. That's what has everyone talking. And don't forget, the Ravens are staring down the barrel of a free agency period that could define the next 3 years of this roster. The only way to be aggressive in March is to get aggressive in February. It's why decisions like this, however painful, become necessary. Cutting Humphrey post-June 1st could instantly free up over $19 million in cap space. That's enough to go out and grab a veteran pass rusher, a lockdown nickel corner, or even a top-tier guard. That's why his name won't go away in this conversation, no matter how long he's been a Raven. With Broderick Washington, it's a different situation but similar urgency. Defensive tackle is not a glamorous position, but it's critical. And right now, it's unstable. Michael Pierce is aging. Nnamdi Oforie might never play again. And Washington's Achilles injury, while not a full tear, still throws a wrench into everything. Even if he's healthy by training camp, will he be at 100%? Is he still worth the nearly $6 million cap hit? Those are the tough questions the front office is facing. And when depth is already razor thin, every wrong move becomes magnified. Now when it comes to Trenton Simpson, this is where the team has to make a call on potential versus production. You look at his numbers late last season, especially once Buchanan went down, and they're respectable. But you also can't ignore that he got benched earlier in the year. The trust wasn't there. And if you're not trusted by the coaching staff, you're already skating on thin ice. It's also telling that Baltimore is expected to prioritize linebacker depth in the draft. That means Simpson's roster spot could be hanging by a thread. And it's not just the veterans under scrutiny. Even Andrew Voorhees, a once promising developmental guard, is now looking like a potential camp casualty. When your PFF grades fall off a cliff and the team clearly prefers a different player at your position, especially a younger, cheaper one, you become expendable. The idea of taking an offensive guard in the first 2 rounds of the upcoming draft feels more and more likely. And if that happens, Voorhees may not even make it through the summer. The elephant in the room, of course, remains Cooper Rush. His 2025 campaign was such a disaster, it still leaves fans scratching their heads. He was brought in to be the failsafe, the veteran who could step in and keep the ship afloat if Lamar went down. Instead, when his number was called, he crumbled. No touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and a passer rating that would make any coach nauseous. It was brutal to watch, and even more brutal to accept for fans who expected so much more. His days in Baltimore feel numbered, and the only question is whether the team waits until June 2nd to get the full savings. In the end, these decisions aren't just about money, they're about accountability, legacy, and setting a tone. The Ravens are at a pivotal moment. They've got one of the league's top quarterbacks in his prime. They've got a defense that's been elite at times, but flawed at others. And they've got a front office that's clearly willing to make bold moves if it means getting this team back to the top. So, as a fan, what do you think? Which of these names needs to go? Is it time to say goodbye to Marlon Humphrey? Would cutting Broderick Washington be a mistake given the current depth issues? Is there still hope for Trenton Simpson? Or should the team clean house and free up every possible dollar to attack free agency? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be reading everything. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single Ravens update. Be sure to like the video and check out the ones on screen right now for even more Ravens insights. Let's get through this offseason together because this team, this fan base, and this city deserve another shot at greatness. Go Ravens!